right, a very good morning to you and welcome to a special edition of the platform here on Flow 94.9 FM. On today's edition of the program, we will be talking about education. Of course, you know that education is the bedrock of every society. So welcome on board. My name is Ginika Olwa. Of course, Michael will be here at 10 to do the normal platform. Of course, once we have a situation like this, we'll talk about it. So we will be talking about Gregory Ibe Education Intervention Scheme that will be flagged off today. My name is Ginika Olwa. Don't forget, this is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Okay, I have in the studio with me members of the Professor Gregory Ibe Foundation, and they will be talking about this particular topic we will be discussing on this edition of the platform this morning. I have Honorable Princely Kingsley Ngunu. He's a consummate PR expert and former Abia State Chairman of Nigeria Institute of Public Relations and IPR. Good morning, Honorable, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, my brother Ginika.
Okay.
I am glad to be here, and I will say Happy New Year to Abians and all the people around the world. Thank you.
Okay. And also with him is Dr. Oluebube Chukwu. He is also a PR professional, that is public relation professional. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Abia. Thank you, Ginika, for having us.
Okay, let me start with you, Honorable Ngunu. Tell us about this Gregory Ibe Education Intervention Scheme that is being flagged off today in Abia. What is it all about specifically?
I want to paint a little kind of background here. Definitely there are lapses in the education sector. Not lapses in terms of intelligence, because Ibians and Nigerians are born great. They have the intellectual capacity to navigate troubled waters. But on the side of Professor Greg Ibe, let me say from his angle is not that he did not come out from, let's say he was not born with the golden spoon.
Okay.
So definitely you can see that there are situations abound that people tend to remember their past. So remember his past and also the gaps that may be prevalent in the school system. These days we have cultism, we have lots of other things that disturbs the growth of an average person in the Nigerian society. So he decided that definitely if you don't have a well-groomed pupil from primary, secondary school, you may have lapses when you get to the tertiary sector.
Okay.
Because now, if somebody is not well-groomed or well-tutored, if he gets in there, he's likely to join cultism. If not cultism, he might be taking part in all these kind of negative education malpractices. So once the person gets in there, that means there's every tendency that you may produce the wrong people. So Professor Greg thought it wise and decided to close lots of these gaps. That the basic line of development in the family, let's say within the adulthood of a person, is first the nucleus family. And after the nucleus family, talk about, let's say, the foundation education. We are talking about nursery, primary, and secondary schools. Then after that, we now talk about influence from the peer group and lots of other societal factors. So he understands that definitely these days, because the government cannot do it all, we really have lots of gaps and spaces to fill. And when you have this lots of gaps, that means that there must be one way or the other to fill it, because government cannot do everything. So he decided to start an education development program under Professor Greg Ibe's foundation. There are two of it: the Education Intervention Program and also the Equip Abia Primary and Secondary School Program. These two, they run concurrently, but I want to pick them one after the other. When you are talking about the Equip Abia Primary and Secondary Schools, we are talking about the primary and the secondary school sector. So what he has been doing so far, from 2015, he donated laboratory equipment to more than 85% of the schools in Abia State. Then, secondly, he's been distributing textbooks. You must have been hearing him on air or the distribution and the rest of it. What he's doing is to make sure we have a reading public from the Abians, and we have also consummate pupils who want to aspire to the greatest height of life. Of course, you know that the only way you can raise capacity is through education, entrepreneur, and also ability building. So he thinks that doing this, he will fill in the gap, because most of the schools do not have a textbook these days.
Okay.
So judging from what he has done, he thinks that will impact on the society. Then today, in particular, he is going to flag off part of this scheme, and we are starting with 30,000 exercise books for Abia. 30,000 exercise books
in Abia.
Yes, in Abia. It's going to flag off in Abia.
Now, are you going to a particular school or the whole?
No, it's for the entire. It's for the entire Abians.
Okay.
But we are looking more at. We are targeting public schools because we have seen that the decay a little, or let's say the pressure is more. The pressure is more on the public schools. So it's going to flag off the program today, and we are starting with 30,000 exercise books, not minding what he has been doing before. That is part of the Equip Abia primary and secondary school program. Then the other program within the ambience of the this education intervention program, he has already given 350 scholarship to Abians and also those outside Abia. And these scholarships are spread across the 17 LGAs of Abia State. But last year, let's say for the education year of 2021, and as we are in 2022 now, he already gave 94 slots of scholarship. This covers medicine, engineering, and a lot of other great areas where we don't have an insurge of people anymore. This is the much I can say for now. We can build up as we move.
Okay, let me go to Dr. Oluwebe. Now, you heard what President Gunn said. Now, on the issue of curbing social vices seen in secondary and primary school, what about the tertiary institution, which ordinarily everybody should think that this education intervention scheme should focus on? Because if you go to the universities, you will also see this issue of cultism and the rest of them. Dr. Oluwebe.
Well, you've heard Honorable Princely mention something about the Equip Abia primary and secondary school program, while touching briefly on the new scheme, which has been going on and of which will be ramped up today. That's talking about the Professor Gregory Ibe Education Intervention Scheme. This aspect now focuses more on the tertiary side, while the Equip Abia primary and secondary school program, it's for the non-tertiary side. Right, so talking about his interventions in the tertiary scheme, scholarships, to which he mentioned a figure over 350, and for this year alone, 94 slots are already earmarked for people in that category. This will be distributed around the senatorial districts in Abia, covering the different courses like he mentioned. Now, when you offer education free of charge, so to speak, and young people are engaged with in academic activities, the stress alone that comes from the quest to get higher education would keep one away from engaging in activities that are inimical to the growth of the person and, of course, by extension of society. So with education activities, which Professor Greg Ibe is championing right now by way of scholarship, provision of free exercise books, and library textbooks, we need to mention that, and of course, again, an online entrepreneurial training scheme, which is anchored by the man himself, Professor Gregory. These activities will help anyone who is serious about bettering his or her lot in life to be actively engaged and stay away from such social vices as you've mentioned. Yes.
Okay, I would like you tell us more about the person of Professor Gregory Ibe. Of course, we know he's an Abian, a very respectable Abian at that. But then again, we do not really know. Most people may not really know who he is as a person. And probably why is he concentrating so much on education intervention? What about other sectors? You have health, and we have health issues in Nigeria and in Abia State. Why the intervention focusing strictly on education?
Right. The man, Professor Gregory Ikechukwu Charles Ibe, was born on the 10th of December 1963. He's a very young man by all standards, by age and by appearance, and thankfully he enjoys good health. Now, this man did not have it easy, so to speak. He wasn't born with a silver spoon. He passed through a lot of struggles. Being born in the north, grew up in parts of Enugu due to the itinerant nature of his father's job, a policeman. So he moved around and it wasn't easy having an education. At some point, he'd go to school, he'd do business to support himself and his parents. It was difficult for him seeing the children of other people that maybe were well-to-do as at that time progressing steadily and quickly. But for him, it was a journey to achieving education, and he figured out, having not come from a background of wealth, he figured out that education would be his golden ticket to achieving greatness in life. And he embarked on that journey, and today we have the man, Professor Gregory Ibe. So he believed, ab initio, in the power of education. He keyed into it, and that has led him to where he is today. And he has figured out that money and wealth may not attain a lot of people at birth due to circumstances, but if you have access to education, you could become all you can be. Now, there are other issues like you mentioned, health, a number of other challenges. This man has actually made interventions in some of this area. Don't forget the Gregory Ibe Foundation, which is the vehicle, the special vehicle, which he has used, to touch the lives of many people, and people can attest. It is just that he has been on the quiet side about this, but over the course of time, people have been asking questions. Who is this person that has been donating food items, condiments, paying for hospital bills?
That should be during COVID. Yeah. Is it that during the lockdown or something?
Before then, during and after.
Okay.
He is still.
Is he doing it up to this moment?
Of course. Cases abound.
Okay, I will still come back to you, Prince Lingunu, but let's take a breather now, and when we come back, well, maybe Prince Lingunu will tell us more about why Gregory is still focusing on the issue of education intervention and some other issues. It's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion, and I have here with me the members of Gregory Ibe Foundation, Honorable Princely Kingsley Ngunu and Dr. Oluebube Chukwu. They are all PR consultants. When we come back, the show continues. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to the program. It's still the platform here on Flu 94.1 FM. My name is Ginika Olua. I still have here with me members of the Gregory Ibe Foundation, Honorable Princely Kingsley Ngunu and Dr. Oluebube Chukwu. All of them are also here. Thank you, gentlemen, and welcome back to the program. Now, tell us more about, before we went on the break, I heard what Doc said, talked about the interventions Gregory Ibe has made in other areas, giving out food items and the rest of them. What other areas has he been able to make some kind of interventions, especially to Abians? Princely.
Well, let me start from the angle that you asked why the education sector only.
Yes.
I would say not specifically the education sector, but not only the educational sector. If you look at it very well, we can see the world from a perspective that education is everything. And it shows in the life of Greg. He was not born with a golden spoon, like my brother said.
Okay.
He rose to, in short, let me say, Greg lifted blocks in building sites to pay school fees. And due to the nature of the father's job, he most time may not be around. So the man became a father even right from the young start. So definitely for somebody like that, there must be a time pressure of the house will make you do things you're not supposed to do in the first place, or things you are not supposed to do. So let's say, upon all that, he knew quite well that he hadn't anything. And he knew quite well that education could give him a life. And education has given him a life. That's why he believes and thinks, and we know that education is everything. When once you have education, you have a start-up in life. That's why he's thinking deep into education. That is why he's starting very early, from the primary sector down to the tertiary sector. Then keeping that apart, you also talked about the other intervention areas. We know that during COVID-19, when he was held back in the United States, he was thinking of what to do. He couldn't really find, but he commissioned the foundation to do so many things. Like the foundation donated 3 ambulances to Abia State, and also donated 850 bags of rice. Let's not talk about the ones he took to the local government, about over 4,000 bags of rice to the local government, and Indomie, cartons of Indomie noodles, cartons of noodles, and also finances, funds he gave to them. So all these are intervention, and he also donated 1 billion, I think, thereabout, to Nigeria to start up the COVID-19 vaccine research. and also gave his lodge, his medical, his hospital up for quarantining. So you can see that it's not only within the educational sector. Scholarship is quite educational anyway, but when you look at it, it's a kind of entrepreneurial growth. Let's talk entrepreneurship here. Greg has built an entrepreneurial hub he calls I-North 8. And the Secretary of Secretary of State, United States of America, visited sometime last year to also talk on the project, and he really eulogized Greg for doing such a wonderful thing. And he was also accompanied by the ambassador, Leonard. So when you look at such, you see that he's not only a one aspect person, and he's also doing this part of program also encompasses online entrepreneurial development. So there's a whole lot of package. You only mention it bit by bit. As your question comes, we can now manage it with the whole facts we have.
Yes.
Then you are talking about Greg per se. You say people are asking questions. Who is this man? Who is this man? He's a very simple man, but I will tell you, he's not a simpleton. He multitasks most of the time. Like you can see, he runs a university, and before he ran that university, he was a lecturer in then Imo State University, and also helped in building Imo State University before now trying to build out something of its own. And you really need to visit Gregory University to really understand the components in there and why he is thriving. And up till now, I will gladly tell you that he's working in harmony with the lecturers and everybody there. And it's a huge investment. If somebody can do that and also have the leverage of doing other things like being consultants in West Africa and also lots of the ministries in this Nigeria, you will understand that he's not just a simple person. He grew with time, and he's a compact person.
Okay, I just want to know, what is the link between this education intervention program that you will be flagging off today in Abia and his Gregory the University in Uturu? What is there any link or relationship whatsoever? Is it being sponsored by that particular university?
No, yes, it's sponsored by Greg.
Okay, himself.
Through Gregory Ibe's Foundation. Okay. But this is an offshoot of Equip Abia State Primary and Secondary Schools program. We are going to start with 30,000 exercise books.
Okay, now in distributing this 30,000 exercise book, how are you going to reach out to people, schools in Abia, or have you made your kind of arrangement? Okay, this school will have 10,000, this school will have 10,000. So how are you arriving at the distribution so that at least everybody will get something from this?
That's why it's still a pilot scheme. What we're doing, we've gotten some data from the school enrollment. What we're doing, we look at those at the finishing classes. Now know their number, which they are going to bring today, and whatever we have, we'll partition it in such a way that we can continue tomorrow. It's still a pilot scheme. We are not ending with that 30,000 exercise books. It's just a number we can start. They will now go and cross-check it ourselves to know the actual number remaining. They will know where to start from.
Okay, apart from Abba, which other place will you do it eventually?
If I may add, today's program is for the Abba zone.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is something that will reach all nooks and crannies of Abia State. Like Honorable Priestley here said, this is still a pilot scheme. And then you also have to remember that Professor Greg Ibe, coming from the private sector, things are done in a methodical manner. So we are targeting those that are finishing because they are expected to upscale to the next level of their academic sojourn. So a lot of pressure on them. Exams, maybe challenges with school activities, school fees and all that. So we are starting from them. There is a methodical arrangement to this. And it's going to trickle down to just about everybody in public schools.
Okay, in Abba you have like how many local government there? You have Abba North, you have Abba South, you have Osisioma, you have Obingwa, you have Ugun. All those places, they are all called Abba. Okay, so apart from here now, which other area will we be looking at to see this particular intervention? Which other zone now?
No, we're taking it to Abia North. We're taking it to Abia Central. It is getting to all the 3 senatorial districts in Abia.
Okay, so you are doing it through senatorial zones.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's a common hope for all of us.
Okay. We will take another breather now. When we come back, you go into the political aspect of this, because I know that once elections are fast approaching, so many people will come around to say they are doing this foundation and all that. And probably after that, after the election, you will not see the foundation again. Okay. So you will tell us about that when we return. It's still the special edition of the platform here on Flow 94.9 FM. Right, welcome back to the program. It's still the special edition of the platform here on Flow 94.9 FM. And I've been speaking with members of Greg Ibe Foundation. I have Honorable Kingsley Ngunu. He's a PR consultant and professional as well, and Dr. Olwebube Chukwu is also a PR professional. Thank you so much, gentlemen, and welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Now, Princely, I know you too well. You're a politician, and I want you to tell me and tell Abians, why are we having this issue of every time there's politics? Once there's the election, by next year, the elections will be here, and before that time we always see foundation this, foundation that, distribution of age, just like what you are doing now. Does this particular move you're making right now have any political undertone? Just be sincere.
No, I'm being sincere to you, and I thank God that I reiterated my stand even before the interview got started. And Ginika, you understand, also, since you pin me down to being a politician, I also pin you down to being a journalist.
But I know you are one.
And I know you're a broadcaster too.
Sure.
So I know you must have ran 1 or 2 or 3 programs for Greg.
Yeah.
And this project started since 2015. Let's say earlier before 2015. You can see we all have a hub where the programs ruminate. Then looking at it, you can't say that somebody, if we say that it's political, it then means that the man started early from 2015, which is not a bad one. And it means he must have impacted on people before this time. So if he has impacted on people before this time, what's wrong with it? That's one aspect. But if you also say that it's political, I don't think somebody that is doing something political will go ahead to give a scholarship even to those studying medicine. And of course, medicine is a 7-year course, and at the same time, the bill of one personality in medicine could go as much as 6 million and above. So if you can do that kind of investment and it's political, I would say yes, it's a good one. But I will also say I don't think it's political. And like I told you earlier, from 2015, he donated laboratory equipment to schools. And I know the foundation has been there under GUU. What we did is kind of remodification to really give it a clout it needed. When you start having more people, start having more interest, like somebody like Greg now, he has a whole lot of ideas in his head, and he believes in discussing it out and sharing views so that we can build more prosperity. He believes in investing 50 million and also getting, let's say, the effect of 50 million on the environment he's investing. That is why we keep changing tactics and strategy. But I would also say that why you keep seeing people come out to do one foundation or the other, but you also ask yourself, what's the foundation? Most times it's all about sharing money, all about buying vehicles for other people, all about
I don't know, you are
goods.
telling
No, I'm saying foundation comes in various forms. Then when you look at it that way, they are trying to catch the public. But I think this man, Professor Greg Ibe, has given a personality to himself, a character that cannot vanish after politics. You want to tell me that even if he's not doing politics today, he's going to move out all those people he has awarded scholarship? It's definitely. So
is it going to continue even if he has political ambition and he doesn't achieve it? It will continue.
I told you that he started long ago. He has done 350. And part of that 350 is 94 he did between last year and this year's academic season. I will not start attaching, the kind of color to what he's doing now. Okay. But I think somebody like Greg is the kind of person we need.
Okay.
You want me to stop there?
No, I want to go to the doctor.
I want to actually bring in a little bit more information on this foundation business. The Gregory Ike Foundation has actually been operating since 1991. So there has been an antecedent. It is not just something that started from 2015.
Okay.
But then from 2015, it was a bit more repackaged because he has always been, the man is a philanthropist. He's a giver. He has his hands are open. You understand? And mind you, he has been a business person. I could go on mentioning some notable projects in Southeast that he has been involved in as a contractor, as a business person. He has been given, obviously, we have said it here and in other fora about his background. So it's inculcated in him the nature to give.
Okay.
You know, so it has been on since 1991, giving out, doing things, but it as of 2015, it was given a personality on its own, separate from the individual, but still linked.
Okay, before I stop to you, Princely, you were about saying something. You say he's the type of person we need. In what aspect?
For going to politics, we need a multitasking person.
Okay.
A technocrat.
Yes, a technocrat. Not also a technocrat who is hanging within the theoretical framework of being a technocrat. We need a practical technocrat. Like if we go down the line, we can look at people like, let's say, we keep mentioning Charles Sulura. I don't think he's the only person. There are lots of people like Peter Obi.
Okay.
Let's say if you go into the government with a peculiar mindset or with your personality is supposed to rub off on the state, or the state will rub off on you. But it is going to be, it's like passing through the school and the school passing through you. So if somebody is a giver, I don't think if he gets into a position, he will stop giving. And if somebody is a developer, even having an encouragement like the government status will also make you to give more, or will also make your mind to be more open. If we look at it, the personality Greg covers hard work, covers a humble beginning, covers resilience, yes, tenacity and enthusiasm to develop the system, because he's not stopping there. He wants to develop the system at every point in time.
Okay, before we take the calls, we open the phone lines. I listened when he said he actually wanted to run for the office of the governor in Abia State in 2023. Should that happen and eventually he clinches that position, what are we expecting from him?
We're expecting an explosion in Abia State from every angle positive, because recently he was appointed as one of the
the eggheads, members of the transition team
exactly
for Professor Charles.
Thank you.
Okay, in Anambra.
So that tells you that the man has a connection to rub with the external world, and exactly since he's a consultant, most of the things that is happening in Abia will be done with a kind of panache. So I think it's a kind of building from what we built already. With somebody like Greg, I don't think you need to go back and start saying is he going to make it or not going to be. You are not going to ask to what extent is he going to impact, not if he'll impact or not. I think that's the level we should be talking about.
Okay, you've heard what we've been discussing on this special edition of the platform. We've been talking about Professor Gregory Bay Education Intervention Scheme, which is to be flagged off today in Aba. And I have been speaking with members of Greg Ibe Foundation, Honorable Princely Kingsley Ngunu and Dr. Oluebu Bechuku. They are all PR professionals. Well, the microphone is now yours. You can now call in and make your contributions on the program. The numbers to call are 08081826949 or 08116052949. You can also send your SMS at 09065108289. Hello? Okay, hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen in the building.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome.
My name is Joseph Ejindo. I am calling from Alaye, Amanka precisely.
Okay. Joseph, kindly hold on before you go ahead. Can you move away from your radio set? We are hearing a call back from there.
Okay, is that okay now?
Okay, go ahead.
Concerning the kind of person Professor Greg Ibe is, he is the kind of a man that we need to occupy the Home of Affairs. Professor Greg Ibe, apart from in terms of politics, he has been helping people, he has been giving scholarship, he has been doing a lot of philanthropical gesture without any political undertone in it. If he declares his intention to be the next governor of Abia State, is something to write home about. And I urge men of goodwill to support him. He is not a governor yet. The people are enjoying free education in his foundation. So I am urging Abians to support him. Another thing that I want to ask is this. Most of the times, these politicians, when they have opportunity and they get elected, all their political manifesto, they will forget it. And those of them who started the way Professor Gregibe is currently doing now, maybe he forgot it. You forget it. So the person who is representing him there, I want him to assure us that not when one thing is given water with cup, how to collect the cup will be the problem. Not that when we get him elected, the story will begin every day. So I want the person to reply us that it will not gonna be something that will be a business as usual.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph Ejindo. Well,
I thank.
you heard what he said.
Of course, I thank Joseph. It was just like what our party chairman said, Right Honorable Asiforo Okere. Right Honorable, that's the PDP party chairman. When we paid a visit to him, he said that he will always pray to have people like Greg around because of his resilience and tenacity. And if you also check well, Greg indicated interest to run in the past time, but when he was meant to understand, it wasn't our turn.
Our turn? What do you mean by our turn?
You know, we are in a zoning system in Abia State.
Okay.
And we have the Abia factor, that's ABIA.
Okay.
But I wouldn't want to delve into that because that's not the main reason why we're here. But when he was asked, he dropped, and he has not stopped his philanthropic gesture since that time.
And support to the party.
Simple, you see.
Okay.
So I think that's the kind of person we need, not those who believe is you must fight for it no matter what it takes. No,
I don't really think that. Well, he means usual.
Yeah.
How are we sure he's going to deliver if eventually he gets elected? Probably that should be the question.
Like I told you, capacity tells everything. Like now, if I'm a good football player and you place me in the pitch of football, I will make sure I do myself proud. But you can't give what you don't have. The problem we have with other people is that they testify to what they don't have. And when they get in there, what happens? They will see nothing.
Okay, Doc, you want to answer?
To quickly answer the caller and to support what Honorable is saying, the simple answer to his question is antecedents.
Yeah.
What has he been doing? What has he done? That could point you to what he would continue to do. That's it.
Okay, let's take some calls now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Senator.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, my gentlemen in the studio.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
What's your name? And where?
My name is Sir Ike.
Okay, so I go ahead.
Yes, I want to commend the people in the studio for coming out open to tell us more. Personally, I've had encounter with Ibe and what he has done. His antecedent is no longer in that. The records are there. This is a man who believes in entrepreneur, and all of us know that entrepreneur that SME is today contribute almost 15% of the GDP of this country. And such a person is required to transform this economy in this country, not just in other states. So I recommend him as the sure candidate and the preferable candidate for governorship of this state, because what he has at hand and what he has done and what he's yet to do is nothing to write home about. It's so obvious. If you go to his entrepreneurship center, entrepreneur center at Uturu, there's a printing press there, investing in poultry farm, shoe, bag making, soap.
Oh, I think you've exhausted your airtime there, Sam Ike. Probably if you have time, you can also call us back. The number is to call at 080-8182-6949 or 08116052949. You can also send your SMS at 090-651-08289. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. What's your name?
I'm DBC calling from Eastern North.
Okay, go ahead, DBC.
I've heard much about Professor Gregory. There's this little question that I want to ask. Is he not part of them? Number one.
Hold on, DBC, before you go ahead. When you say, is he not part of who? Is he not part of who?
You know this are saying, you're in Nigeria. Not them.
Okay.
You know that.
Okay, go ahead. Your
So
second question.
that's where my question is coming from. Is he not part of them? He may be going around distributing palliatives and doing things that may look very, very distant to people. But what I want to ask and contribute is this. If the way he has been doing is the way he will perform while elected or after elected as a governor, that would be good. But if he's doing all these things to make sure that he wins our heart to vote him into office, well, my brother, I will say that Nadem. So
Okay.
we could not tell them, tell the man they are representing him to please talk to him, advise him. We need, let me still repeat, we need a credible leader that will lead us to the promised land. Thank you and God bless you.
Okay, thank you so much, Luisi. Now, you heard what he asked.
Well,
he said, "Now them. Is he them? Is he part of them?"
You know, opinionated positions happens with antecedents of people. But definitely opinionated speculations also happens with the capacity of the person you're talking about. I thank God you said if the way he's donating things and doing his philanthropic gestures is the way he's going to continue after being elected. I think if he does that, then it's a good thing. That's what you said. And I think it's a good thing. But let me shave off your fear. Greg, will I say, is I don't want to use the word rich. He's somebody that is okay with who he is. He believes in delivering services. He believes in giving services. I don't think he is going to change, and he is not going to change. At least you said that we should talk to him. He is equally talking to us as politicians. Because like you see, like if you come into a class now, you may have a class of 35 people. That does not mean that the whole class behaves the same way. That's why you have the grade A students, grade B, grade C, and maybe grade D. So if we're looking at it from that aspect, it doesn't mean any person approaches governance from a personal perspective. There's nothing like a group sabotage, or there's nothing like a group wrongdoings. You show your personality whenever you're in power. And Greg is somebody that has developed his capacity and personality. He cannot change his character overnight. So I will assure you completely well that he is going to do even much more better when he gets in there.
Let's see if we can take some calls now. Hello, hello. Okay, the numbers to call are 08081826949 or 08116052949. Hello.
Good morning, men in the studio.
Yeah, good morning, welcome.
Hi, my name is Ozem Milan. I'm calling from Mama Ohafe.
Okay, welcome, Ozem, go ahead.
Good and fine. I'm very, very glad this morning hearing that Professor Gregory has indicated interest for governorship position in Abia State coming 2023. It's not only me. We are looking forward to see even somebody like Uche Oga to the place. Let Abia North direct the best from all the political positions that will come into contest from Abia North. And I believe you me that Professor Gregory Ibe has everything it takes. Dr. Uche Oga has everything it takes to come up. Let Abia decide. And I know in the large essence, the best must emerge. And I thank for your best in the studio how they have been trying to bring out the things that this man has been doing, and it takes and it go a long way for others to know more about Professor Gregory Ibe. Thank you and have a good morning.
All right, thank you so much for calling us. Now let's go over to our SMS. This one is coming from Slick. Slick said, hello gentlemen in the studio. Please, is the scholarship scheme of your principal extended to those in other higher institutions other than Gregory University? Gentlemen.
I will answer that one for now.
Okay.
Because there are other things he does privately. He does a kind of help program to many students who are in other schools, like giving them some part of their school fee. We cannot call that scholarship. Okay. Why we are particular about GUU scholarship scheme is because it takes the chunk of the entire payment off from the person they load. But for now, I don't think we have really established. It's only when we now get back to him, we now know what to say.
What I'm going to add to that is Professor Greg offers financial support, regardless of where you're pursuing your level of academics, tertiary or primary. But you may not really call that scholarship or tuition-free assistance. So does he help out financially? He does.
Okay, Prince, before we leave the studio, this should be the final question from me. Tell me, how is he sure that he's going to claim the party's, the PDP's governorship ticket in Abia State? He's huge. He appears a very independent-minded person, and from antecedent, I don't know how you will see this. How certain, or what's the likelihood of him getting the PDP governorship ticket in Abia State?
Well, I'll say something is that if you want to win a race, a horse race, you get a race horse first. What we are doing is to get a race horse, and that person happens to be Professor Greg Ibe. To be very, very certain, I'll be playing God. Nobody plays God in this kind of activities. But I will tell you that if Abians want somebody who will deliver service, give service, epitomize service, lift Abia from the place it is now to higher grounds, I think that person is Greg. So if we're looking at moving Abia forward and increasing or improving the gains of democracy in Abia, I believe I will say anybody that is right thinking will be looking towards Greg.
Okay, so what if he doesn't get any in PDP? Is he going to move over to another platform?
Well, I wouldn't say that now. I wouldn't say that. I can't preempt his movement or whatever.
Okay.
But I think PDP will not want to lose somebody like Professor Greg Ibe.
Okay, let me sincerely thank you, gentlemen, members of Greg Ibe Foundation. Honorable Princely Kingsley Nguno. He is a consummate PR expert and former Abia State Chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPL. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Dr. Oluebube Chukwu, a PR professional. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, and to all of you who listen, thank you so much. At 10, Michael Oni will be here to continue with the platform at 10 o'clock. My name is Ginika Olwa. Don't forget, it is a special edition of the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Good morning.